All right. I gotta start with this one. The Crypto.com performance bonus winner of the night is Isaiah. He won $10,000 in cryptocurrency provided by Crypto.com. Sponsor out of the way. And then the other bonuses tonight were Dumpling, Paige, and Vern. They all won 10 grand in cash, not crypto.
Dana, to your left.
What's up,
just curious what your thought of Paige was. Did she live up to what you thought she might do?
Listen, her first slap sounded like a gunshot in there. You know, she did a good job. If you think about it's the first time that she's ever done this, she did great. You know, rocked that girl 3 times, flinching violations, but you know, you got to expect. It's funny because when you think about the prelims, right? And you look at the prelims, you know, there's levels to this. And then you get to the title fights and you watch Manny and these guys, how they go. It's just such a different level. It takes time and it takes experience, but more importantly, it takes balls, and she's got it.
And I was going to say, you know, her UFC career, whether she won or lost, the one thing she didn't do was quit. You know, she was a fighter. I mentioned to her the Rose Namajunas fight where she took an unbelievable amount of punishment and kept going in that fight. I mean, is that the one thing that you think more than anything it takes in this is just like, hey, that gumption that no matter what, I'm gonna hang in?
100%. Yeah, you got to be tough, and you got to put in the work too. You know, she actually didn't come in here with an ego. She trained and did everything she was supposed to do. And other than flinching, she was perfect. And I would have to imagine when you first start doing this, flinching is a very fucking human reaction. That's completely normal that you have to get used to. So she can go back to the drawing board and work on that.
What impact do you think she will have in terms of helping you build women's divisions here?
I think not only women's, but this is where you're going to start to see, you know, different celebrity types. I was talking to people tonight. You know, obviously this is our first event, 3,500 people here. We didn't have another ticket tonight to sell. And if you're a college football player and you didn't make it to the pros, and lots of other athletes like that, you know, as this sport continues to grow and there's more money in it, I think you're going to see a lot of that type of stuff.
And last question for me, what was it like for you? I saw Dumpling came over to you and shook your hand afterwards. I guess he was the guy that spurred your interest in this sport and everything. So the fact that he was here, A, what did that mean to you? And B, you know, kind of symbolic of, do you think the power is shifting from Eastern Europe to the United States now with Power Slap?
Well, now that I have Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi, you know what I mean? Abu Dhabi is like the perfect place to do this stuff. We can get anybody in from all over the world. Trying to get people in right now from fucking Canada is tough, okay? Let alone Russia and these other parts of the world. So I'm working on some big things in Saudi Arabia right now, and I'm always working on big things in Abu Dhabi. So, you know, they love Power Slap. So we're gonna move light years. And the things that I'm working on right now with those guys. So, yeah, we're doing some exciting stuff.
Dana.
Hey, Dana.
Hi.
I'm just curious, do you have any update on like a timeline for that, for Saudi Arabia and Power Slap headed over there? And do you plan on having...
Yeah, we're gonna do 2 next year over there. And then we'll do Abu Dhabi this year. I didn't announce it yet, but I kind of just announced it. But yeah, it's coming soon.
Will those be people that we've already seen competing here, or will it be fresh new?
Well, I'm looking to do the reality show over there, too. We got the new season of the reality show comes out July 24th. You know, the reality show has done over 40 million views. So it's always been the blueprint for us on building talent and creating stars. That format, the best always rise to the top no matter what. So I love that format. We shake it up and do it in different ways, but we're gonna do a version over there.
What about Austin Turpin? We saw him
get
a lot of
I bet nobody saw that coming. Yeah, I thought he was going to win that fight. Vern took it and then gave it. Man, he looked good tonight.
What about the weight miss?
What about who?
Austin's weight miss.
Yeah, that's a problem. I mean, he keeps doing it now. You know. I don't know. Maybe this will get him serious about it.
Also, there were some slap fighters. One donated a portion of his liver to another slap fighter's daughter. I'm wondering if you were included in that process, or what your thoughts are on.
Well, no, I mean, we knew about it and we knew it was happening and stuff like that. But I mean, it's a pretty amazing story.
Is that something that you've noticed, that maybe the people competing here in slap fighting are a little bit more of a family than maybe in the UFC or other sports?
It's like the early days of the UFC. That's exactly how we were. I mean, in the early days of the UFC, the Chuck Liddells and Matt Hughes and Rich Franklins, they were at my house for holidays and things like that. It was very much that way in the early days. And that's how all these guys are now. It's like all the slap fighters versus the world. Everybody's talking shit on the internet and fucking writing shitty stories and all that stuff. I tell these guys, fucking embrace it. It's beautiful. It's a great thing. You know what you don't want? The guys who write no fucking stories and don't say anything about it. And plus, we're building the sport a completely different way, and it's not built through the media. We're not building this sport through media. This is the future of how sports are going to be built, and I'm showing the whole fucking world how it's done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan, over here, other side.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen a steady increase in.
Love the hat.
Appreciate you.
He'll be there tomorrow.
Will they?
Yeah, no, Missoula will. He's here this weekend with his family.
Love that.
Yeah.
In terms of Power Slap, I'm sure you've seen a steady increase in viewership and just like online interest in general. But speaking specifically to Paige, when you announced that she was participating, did you see any sort of like spike in interest or searches or anything?
Yeah, definitely. Everybody that you bring in, especially somebody that already has a certain level of fame and a certain level of followers, you attract new people to it. There's no doubt about it. And then if you look at what we do, I mean, tonight in that room, the most powerful influencers in the world are in that room every time we put on an event. These kids create content for a living. That's what they do. And nothing goes more viral, no matter who you are, how many followers you have. You're going to ask her than this does.
Paige said that she expects maybe other, former UFC fighters might, follow her into Power Slap too. Are you expecting more interest from, maybe they left the UFC, maybe they come back?
I don't know.
Power Slap?
It's a possibility. Yeah, I think, with Paige coming in, I think it opens the doors to a lot of people that see, wow, she did great, and might be interested in giving it a shot. But what's starting to happen right now with this thing is it's all about the live event. It's like the UFC. My first ever UFC event that we produced and that we did under our ownership was at the Trump Taj Mahal, right? We sold 3,000 tickets, and there were 5,000 people there that night. Tonight there were 3,500 people here, and it is fucking, I've been saying this since day one, it is exactly the same shit, except there was way more negativity around the UFC than there was Power Slap. There was no media for many years at the UFC. No media, like literally nobody was there for many years. And what else was very similar was that everybody just hated the UFC and thought, this is disgusting, this isn't a sport, this shouldn't be sanctioned. I mean, I could go on for an hour of how this is comparative to the UFC, except this is fucking. I have a sizzle reel that we have that talks about the business and how big the business is right now. I didn't have a sizzle reel like this for the UFC for 7 years. 7 years before I had a sizzle reel like the one that we have now for Power Slap, right? And I don't know if you guys saw the new movie coming out with The Rock for Christmas. They're fucking slapping. There's a slap competition that happens in it. Now, if you look at how long it took for the UFC to break into pop culture, it was probably 9 or 10 years.
In the last Power Slap event, you talked about how maybe you wanted, the refs they didn't quite know the rules, and you wanted to like kind of clean some of the stuff up. Did you have any other conversations with them or refs or regulations?
Always, every single event that's coming up. That, like I say, this whole thing is a work in progress. Again, no different than the UFC and coming up. You had these boxing referees, trying to learn mixed martial arts and what was going on. And you know all the shit we went through, especially during the very low point of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, where I was just every night coming in here and just ripping them, It was so bad that at one point after one of my nights, the governor called me on Sunday and basically said, if you ever fucking talk about the Nevada State Athletic Commission like that again, you'll be doing fights in fucking, wherever, not here. So that's how bad it was at one point.
Then last one for me, just because you brought up Missoula. Did you see those interviews with the Celtics where they said that Joe Missoula would show them UFC highlights before their games to kind of hype them up before their fight?
He and I would talk about that leading up to the games. Yeah, no, we've been talking for the last 2 years. So, no, he's very into, and he was very into the Weili Yan fight. Mm-hmm.
Dana, to your left. Way back here, to your left. So you mentioned that there's 40 million views of the reality show. I think there's 7 billion some odd social media followers across the platforms. How are you building this business differently, and how do those numbers help you build this business differently?
Well, first of all, the minute that I saw this, I knew that it was built for social, and that. I told you the one that I saw with Dumpling, this thing on YouTube at the time in 2017 had 350 million views. I'm gonna tell you a story. I don't know what they're called. Maybe Frank does. There's an MMA event in South Korea, and they're starting to do slapping now. Before the MMA events, they posted a slap. They have no followers whatsoever. Things at like 260 million views. And it's not a knockout or anything like that. It's just a slap. I said it, go back, and some of you were there and heard me in the early days. I said, this will be the biggest sport in the world. This will be bigger than the UFC.
Dana.
This will be bigger than the UFC. Now you can remember I said that. Everybody will be like, oh, he's a fucking nut, and all that shit, and then I'll see you in a few years, and we'll talk again.
Dana. Congratulations on a phenomenal event. Can you talk about the energy from the crowd in that ballroom tonight?
It's awesome. I started to talk about that with him, and I got sidetracked. God knows what I don't remember. But this is one of those events. It's like the UFC again. When we put on a live event, nobody leaves a UFC live event and goes, yeah, I don't ever want to see one of these again. I mean, that's the same thing with the Power Slap. It continues to grow. This was our 8th event. We've only done 8 events. And if you look at the success of this thing in just 8 shows, and now, we will get better every time we do it. The athletes will get better. There will be, people that come that continue to draw, and people want to see, slap. And it's all just a huge work in progress. It will just get better every time we do it. The live event, the television production, guys, I say this since fucking UFC, since Slap 1. These guys should be winning awards for the television. I came back and I have a green room like right next door to here. The television product is unbelievable. And then I'll give you an example, and you guys can talk to her, but Angela Hill, she came tonight. She hit me up, and she's like, listen, I'm by myself. Can I get one ticket to Slap? I gave her a ticket. She came tonight, and she texted me after. She goes, I didn't get it, and now I get it. She said the clips on social media don't do it justice. That's one of the funnest live events I've ever been to.
Amazing. Yeah, just check on Rumble. 1.4 million is what it's showing right now. Could be lagging, but from what I see, that is a record-breaking for this night of. Originally, I know you talked that there was kind of a 2-year, I believe it was a 8-event contract. Is there any talk about a Rumble extension?
So our rights deals are up. We're talking to everybody right now. Me and Lorenzo Fluta. We're talking to all the streaming networks. We're talking to, online. I don't want to be too specific. And we're talking to all the majors. We've already are in talks with all the majors right now for this thing. And you know what we're going to do. I mean, I don't know how many fucking times I got to sit in front of everybody and tell everybody what I'm going to do, and then we go out and do it. But we're going to do it again.
Yeah. Dumpling, the guy who got you into this, seeing him perform, was it everything you hoped it would be for his appearance?
Yeah. I don't know how he could perform any better than he did. I mean, Frank, when's the last time he slapped? 3 or 4 years since this guy's even slapped. Frank found him out in the middle of Siberia and started communicating with him. We had to get translators, and his flight to get him here was so expensive. It was insane how expensive his flight was to get him here. How many times do you have to change planes?
5.
He had 5 different flights to get here from Siberia, Russia, and the guy shows up and literally puts on one of the greatest slaps I've ever seen.
Absolutely. You touched on season 3 earlier. What can we expect?
On what?
Season 3 of Road to the Title.
Listen, it's like every season, you end up with different characters. What I used to love about The Ultimate Fighter was the same format every time, but every season something different would happen. It would always be something different. And I love this format. It is the blueprint to find the best talent in the world.
One last one. Here at Fontainebleau, are we going to see that $1 million blackjack hand tonight?
Ooh, I'm playing baccarat tonight, and yeah, we have a very interesting deal, me and the Fontainebleau. So it's going to be a very, very interesting night. Hopefully, I fucking dumpling these guys tonight and get the hell out of here early.
Congratulations.
Dana, back
Thanks,
here.
buddy.
Dana back here.
Yep.
When Paige VanZant left the UFC, you heard a lot of this. She was critical about her situation, some of the pay and stuff. And you hear her up there, she's just so glowing about the situation here. And we've seen her do all these different things between these. I guess, what does it say that she's here now so early into this company and just speaking the way that she is about everything?
Yeah, these things happen in business, in sports, and things like that. I think that when you're in a position like these athletes are in, where you can be cut and all these different things, there's a lot of emotions and people get emotional. And I don't ever, you never hear me come out and defend or argue with anybody that leaves. However you're feeling at that time in that place, and even when you're here. I mean, we've had situations where people are complaining about things here and there. It's part of life, it's part of business, and it's definitely part of sports.
And a couple things related to tomorrow, if I could, UFC 303. What happened with Brian Ortega overnight, having to change that fight to lightweight?
So he got to a point at 3 o'clock in the morning where he couldn't cut any more weight. He was trying to cut weight, and he just couldn't lose the weight anymore. So, we had to make the call, see if they wanted to fight at 55. They both accepted the fight at 55. Doctors went in and checked him out, and he was okay, and the fight stayed together.
If Diego Lopez wins, do you kind of look at it as if it's a featherweight win in terms of
It's a featherweight win.
Yeah.
It's a featherweight fight.
And just one more. At the press conference, when Ian Gary and MVP were going back and forth, Ian was saying that he was trying to get information from his team and making bribes, and he said he's going to be suspended after the fight. And then this morning after the weigh-ins, we saw Ian have a very long conversation with the commission. I don't really know what they were saying. Do you have any idea what he's referencing as far as what could be going on there?
Mental warfare. I have no fucking idea, man. I mean, this is, as you get closer to the, and even what would the thing be if he was trying to spend money to get somebody into the camp? What would he be charged with if that was the case?
I don't know.
I mean, this kind of stuff happens. This ain't the fucking NFL where you're filming other guys and shit. I have no idea. To me, sounds like mental warfare. He's trying to get in his head or whatever the reason is, but I literally know nothing. I know as much. You probably know more than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Dana.
Hey.
Hey. With recent Power Slap events that you've put on, we are at the Durango, we're at Fontainebleau tonight, quite upmarket resorts and a world away from where...
Think about that. That's a great question. So think about what this place is and what it represents. This is like... I mean, when they did the grand opening here, it was fucking tuxedos and it was all celebrities. It was all celebrities that were here. Timberlake played at the fucking thing, and Power Slap is here. What does that tell you? You know what I mean? Dave Grutman's birthday party is here tonight, and all kinds of, there's a lot of fancy shit going on here. And I don't know if you guys have seen the lounge upstairs. Have any of you been upstairs to the? It is the nicest fucking thing you will ever see. I've never been in a place so nice. It actually has all these rooms that veer off it, right? And it's like a room where you and 12 of your friends can have a DJ, and it's beautiful, and they have a DJ and a bar and all this shit. They have a restaurant up there with 12 seats, and the guys literally prepare the sushi right there in front of you and give it to you. And the list goes on and on of very upscale, muffy type shit that goes on in this place. And it's the nicest shit I've ever seen. Power Slap is here tonight. What does that tell you?
Well, it's a world away from where Dumpling was 4 years ago. I saw him in a...
Where all these guys were.
You would have seen he had a slap fight with Zuluzinho in a prison block. Were you and Frank ever tempted to lean into the weirdness of the sport and locations like that, or was it always about Durango and Fontainebleau?
No, I'm fucking ruined, man. I want to be at the Fontainebleau. Yeah. I'm not looking to go to prison or in a barn over a barrel or any of the fucking places they were before this. I want the exact opposite. I want Fontainebleau.
Paige VanZant said like a difference between MMA and slap is that she thinks she could do this more. Do you think she could be a feature like with every slap event if she wanted to?
Yeah, I think that if she takes this serious, she's just going to get better and better. I mean, she did a really good, she's an athlete. You know, if you look at all the things she's done, she's boxed, she's done bare knuckle boxing, she's been in the UFC, she's slapped now, she's done jiu-jitsu tournaments. I mean, you name it, this girl has literally done everything. And Dancing with the Stars, which she should have won. I guess politically you couldn't beat the deaf guy. The deaf guy's got to win it. But I thought Paige should have won it. Maybe I'm a little biased, but she's a great athlete. She's talented. So if she takes this serious, you know.
There's a last one from me. With the Power Slap tonight is on a Friday, UFC tomorrow on a Saturday for International Fight Week. Considering how popular jiu-jitsu is on Fight Pass, could we have a Fight Pass Invitational next year on a Thursday and have like a festival of all your combat sports throughout International Fight Week?
I like where your head's at. Yeah, and more. We're working on a lot of things right now, but that is definitely one of them.
Nice. Congrats.
Thank you. Have a great night. Thanks for coming. I'll see you tomorrow.